If you're a new Redbubble artist, or even if you're a veteran Redbubble artist, you can often wonder, am I on the right track? So here's an email that I've got on my Facebook page. And hey, just a heads up, I do have a Facebook page for Zen Watercooler. And this email came in and it says, I am a student, and around 3 months ago, I opened a shop at Redbubble and on some other platforms as well. Right now, I'm going to reach 100 designs on my Redbubble shop. Awesome. And people have started to favorite my designs as well. That sounds great. Uh-oh, here we go. But it still feels that I'm doing something wrong. I see stores with people who aren't even featured artists, and they have less than 50 designs, and yet they still get their designs favorited way more. So what's going on here? All right, let's take a look at this person's store. And I'm going to talk about favorites in this video, and I'm also going to talk about this store specifically, and I've got some cool tips, I think they're cool anyway, about how this person can continue on their Redbubble journey and ultimately get more favorites and more sales. Let's jump in. All right, so the store is called Vishnu Kun, joined November 2021. So this store is less than 6 months old, 112 designs. And as we scroll on down, we can see they have a featured collection, which are heart designs. And then there's 11 collections sitting here on the left-hand side. So the first thing that I want to do is scroll down, and I'm just going to see how many favorites they do have. And they've got 156 favorites off of 112 designs, which is pretty decent. Anything better than a 1-for-1 typically means, somebody out there likes what you're doing. Let's take a look at these designs. The first thing that strikes me on this store is that these designs, the collections, they're pretty high competition niches. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I'm going to tell you why. The way I look at these designs, I ask myself, are these average, above average, or below average in artistic merit? And I'm not trying to be an art snob here, but you do want to ask yourself that if you're in a high competition niche, can you actually compete? And I would say the answer is yes. And the reason is really twofold. One, there's a certain flavor to this store that I like. Everything is original looking. There's no trademarked garbage in here. And there's a certain look and feel to the store. A lot of reds, a lot of pinks, a lot of gaming, a lot of animals, and a lot of coffee. I know they're not necessarily related, but it tends to look at a similar demographic. Usually younger, maybe college gaming students, and people like hearts, cats, coffee, and gaming. So I really like the way this store is off to the races here. I think this is a really good start. The other reason that I think you could compete in high competition niches is that even though your collections are high competition, you can easily scale up these. So I'm just going to go to flag map designs, for example. And here we can see there's only 10 right now, but ask yourself, how many countries are there in the world? Well, there's about 200 plus countries in the world. And so far, these look really good. I really like the way these look. I would encourage you to scale up this collection. Try to get 200 in here. And what will happen is someone's going to be searching for flag map designs, and they'll see like this one for Australia, but maybe they don't live in Australia. Maybe they live in another country. It could be a country that's not necessarily hugely populous. Could be like Luxembourg, for example, right? It could be like a tinier little country, and that's not going to have as many keyword competition phrases. And so if you can get 200 of these in your collection, they're going to see Great Britain or Australia or the US, and they're going to go, that looks pretty good. Do they have my country? Same thing here with coffee designs, very high competition niche. However, you can scale this up. If somebody likes one of these designs, they're going to look through your collection and see if they've got a facial expression that matches what they're thinking and feeling. I do have one minor criticism, and it's really picky. And again, there's no hard feelings if you don't take the advice. I would just encourage you here on the collections to remove the word designs from the collection. And the reason for that is that when a customer is looking at these collections, they're not really thinking in terms of your designs. They're thinking in terms of their product. So they're going to be searching for coffee t-shirt or coffee gift for teacher. And so when they see coffee designs, all I would encourage you to do is maybe make the collection a little bit more of a fun name rather than just the word design and designs being repeated throughout. It could just make your store just a little bit, it could pop a little bit better. All right, let's talk about favorites here. As I scroll on down, this is really what newer artists focus on a lot because you don't have a lot of sales when you're new, right? So you're going to be looking at favorites and paying attention to what's favorited. And favorites are important. And the reason I think they're important is that when you look at a store, and I'm just going to scroll up to the top here, and I'm searching by most relevant. You can see it there on the right-hand side. These are probably getting the most favorites. So if you go to any store on Redbubble and they've got 100 designs, 1,000 designs, whatever it is. The ones at the top of the most relevant, chances are getting the most favorites. So what I would encourage you to do is take a look at what your designs are getting the most favorites and then make more of those and just expand on those favorites. But what about those artists that maybe have less designs but have way more favorites? What's going on there? I've got a couple thoughts about the favorites. One little dirty secret that is on Reddit or Quora or Facebook groups is there's like for like or favorite for favorite groups. And so what happens is people join these groups and they say, if you like my store, I'll like your store. And I think what they're thinking is that if people like their store and follow their store and like their designs, it'll help in their search rankings. It might, I don't know. To me, a whole bunch of likes that don't translate into sales, it's like, I don't really care, right? I'd rather have sales. So I'd rather be spending my time focusing on high quality designs in niches that I feel I could compete in. The other reason that people might get a lot of favorites is they might just simply ask their friends and family to favorite their store. They might have a brand new store and they might just say, hey, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, countless cousins, can you please favorite my store? And if that's the case, they might wind up with 30 designs, but 300 favorites, for example. Another reason that they might get a lot of favorites is they might promote their store on Facebook. They might have a Facebook group, for example, and then they announce on their Facebook group. So it could be like hockey moms, and there could be 3,000, 40,000, 500,000 people on this site. And they go, hey, I've just released a new store, and they have a whole bunch of traffic that's being driven outside of Redbubble or TeePublic or wherever their store is located. So my big picture advice regarding favorites is I wouldn't worry so much about other people's stores and other people's favorites. What I would spend time looking at is your favorites for your store and translating it up to which designs are getting the most favorites. Using what they call the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule, chances are your top 10 or 15 results are going to be getting the most favorites in your store. So make more of those. And if you make a sale, definitely make more of those. I hope you found this video helpful. I always enjoy doing store reviews. And if you've got a question or a comment, or if you'd like to leave some advice for this store owner, go for it. I'd love to hear your comments down below. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you like this video, hopefully you'll like this other video too about Redbubble. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody.